Where are you going
Well,
with that?
here's what I would say, okay? This is what I would guess, okay? What I would say is, broadly speaking, 20 to 24 weeks is about when you develop a conscious experience. So at about 20 weeks, I would probably cut it off because when consciousness forms, that's when the subjective experience, the person, the who, begins to...
Why? Why does that matter?
Because that seems to be the thing that we care about when we're talking about...
You care about it.
That's what you care about
but
a
why
lot.
does it matter?
Everybody cares about it.
No,
that's why
that's
when we
not
talk
true.
about Terry Schiavo, notice what your defensive...
Majority of Americans actually oppose abortion.
Wait, hold on. What?
$200.
What?
The different...
Notice how when you guys
The
are talking
difference-
about Terry Schiavo... Notice how when you guys are talking about Terry
Yeah, it's fine,
Schiavo,
it's fine.
the thing that you were trying to say was, hold on, Terry Schiavo wasn't totally brain dead. She had an intellectual disability. That shows that you yourself were trying to grab at that idea that she still had some conscious experience. Because at the end of the day, we all know that's the only thing that matters.
No, Terry Schiavo was alive. There's no doubt about that.
There's
Her
first-
body was alive.
There's
alive.
but was she
first-person
a person?
accounts of her
Okay,
being
here's the
people in the
question.
room
Let's say
saying
that,
she's
let's say that
alive.
you take a person, and let's say that you chop off their arm and you replace it with a bionic arm. Is that still a person? Okay, let's say you
Yes,
chop off a leg and replace it with a
absolutely.
leg. Is it still a person?
Yes.
What if you get rid of the heart and replace it with a bionic heart? Is that still a person?
Yes, and then at some point...
What
you're
if you
gonna
replace...
run out
Now,
of
let's say
parts.
we've got a full human. What if you just replace the brain? Is that still the same person?
There have... I mean, yeah, if that's possible. I mean, if you get to that point.
Okay.
It's ever been done successfully.
Okay.
I mean, it'd be an interesting question, but it still would be wrong to kill that person, Destiny.
I
Are
have
you
a
saying-
question.
Are you saying if brain implants are possible, it's okay to kill someone who
Yes.
successfully has a brain implant? Is
That's
that
what
what you're
he's
saying?
No.
Okay, because then
Why ask that
why do
question?
you ask that question? Why is it relevant to whether or not you can kill the embryo?
My mind is so blown. I need a second to recover.
I
Can you
still-
repeat
Okay,
the
I
question?
still
I've got a
need you to
question.
Tell me where
I didn't know we were going to
your
fight.
comes from.
I have never met anybody that bit the bullet on the brain transplant makes you the same person thing.
Well,
so I didn't know that,
I
so.
think it's gonna. I mean, people say if you have a heart transplant.
Nobody
are you the
says
same?
that.
Well,
No.
there's people say I feel a little bit different. There's
That
something about the other person than
the
me.
subject I
Yes.
hasn't changed. You might have different feelings,
so,
but
I don't think you are your brain destiny. So this is also a question.
Really,
of
what
you,
am I?
You are a human being, which is made up of many parts.
okay,
but you're
let's say that you could cut my body,
Right.
cut my neck off, right? You cut
Right.
dismember the neck. Let's say you can choose to keep one thing alive, my head, and put it on another body, or the whole rest of my body and put another head on. What would you choose to make it me?
Well, I would. It's less about which one is you, and it's more about do I have the right to kill you?
No.
That's what
I'm
we're
just-
debating here
I'm just
today.
trying to get at
no,
what-
Destiny.
which one
no,
makes
no.
me?
You're being
Do
pretty
you want to get
squirrely here.
hypothetical again?
No.
This is a story of Wolfenstein 2.
Destiny,
Did you play that game?
Destiny,
They
this
did
is
a whole
very
head
important
transplant,
point.
so it's real. It can happen.
No. This
That
is
was in World War II.
Destiny, this is a very important point.
I agree,
Because
but you
whether
totally don't
or
want to
not-
answer it.
No, I am answering it because whether or not we had the technology to put a new brain in someone else's brain, right? Or we had the technology to cut off your head, put it on somebody else, and then put a different head on that other body. I mean, the question of is that person still Destiny or is that a new person? Those are questions to explore. But
Still
in
person.
both cases, it would be wrong to kill Destiny with the new body that maybe is part Destiny or Destiny with the new brain that's maybe part Destiny. In
I don't know if
both
that's
cases.
true. I don't think I believe that.
Well, that's an interesting position that
No,
you're taking
I think you
then.
agree.
No,
if I cut a
it's an
person,
interesting
let's say if I
position that you're
cut a
taking
person,
then.
I cut a person's head off, okay? Let's say that I stick the head on a bionic body, and then let's say that I take a body and I put a bionic head on.
Well,
I don't
but-
think people would look and go, oh my God, there's two Stevens. They would go, wow, Steven has a bionic body. They wouldn't go, wow, there's Steven with a bionic head. They would say, this is Steven, because we are our brains.
Yeah,
Because we
I-
are the conscious experience we have. We are
I mean,
the conscious
just like
our
how
brains
the
are very
fetus in the womb
But to clarify,
has the capacity to
our
develop
brains are very,
that
very
consciousness,
important.
and does have
They
that.
are
But
very
just to
important.
clarify, our brains are very
I
important.
agree.
But your lack of
donated
think we have-
$200. 777 777 777
He just wants to-
777
I think he just wants to stop the fighting.
777 777 777 777
Okay.
I was just going to say,
thank you
our
for that.
our brains are very important, clearly.
I agree.
But there's also a mystery there, right? About
I agree.
about what makes a human as in terms of the soul and the body connection, because you can have a lobotomy, you can have a part of your brain removed. There's the story of a baby like Jackson who's born missing a large portion of their brain because of hydrocephaly or anencephaly. And in those cases, you still have a person, and it would still be wrong to kill the person. Destiny.
Do you
Didn't
think-
they kill Jackson?
No,
No,
Jackson's
Jackson
alive.
lived
Which
to
one
be-
was the
he lived
oh
to
to
be
like
4
6
years
or
old.
whatever,
I met
right?
him,
That
actually.
wasn't even
That's
like
amazing. No, I did not
it
know.
wasn't amazing. It was tragic.
I have a
Wait,
question.
so do
for
you believe
people.
that baby Jackson should have been
Baby,
murdered?
who's
Yes.
Baby Jackson?
Well, not murdered,
So he
killed
was
because I
a
wouldn't trust that
child
person.
born, and he lived for about 4 years with part of his brain. and it's actually a common justification for late-term abortion when children are diagnosed in utero with hydrocephaly or anencephaly when their brain hasn't fully developed or their brain is
I mean,
the skull hasn't fully developed.
It's ableist to say that because you lack some brain function, because your brain
I'm not talking about lacking some brain
Let me finish
function.
it for a moment. It's ableist to say that because you lack some brain function or you have dementia or your brain is less developed or you're missing a part of your brain, that you are less human and it's okay for someone to kill you.
It goes back to my slippery slope argument early, like at the beginning of
next
this.
to slavery.
No, because you make it slippery slope. You've separated out personhood from being human.
Gotcha.
And
so
in the pro-life
issue with
movement,
some babies like Jackson is some children, hydrocephalus was an issue with Jackson. I believe it was also a really famous case in the United Kingdom where parents were trying to fly around their hydrocephalus kid's brain, or they were trying to fly this kid's body around to get him like treated by doctors or whatever. But the issue is you can have some like very basic human function, I think. You can respond. I was talking to you, not them. I didn't want them to hear. Okay, but I'll talk to them. Too, okay. The problem is like the brainstem allows you to have some really basic human function, like response to stimulus. I think you can respond to light. You might be able to respond to like hot things. I think, but there is no conscious experience there. I don't even know if you would argue the
baby Jackson was having conscious experiences.
No, he wasn't.
I've met him.
No, that's great that you
met him.
You
can talk to his family.
Yeah,
There's
I'm sure
videos
you can, and I would probably feel the same way if I had a kid like that.
Are you like the expert in determining who's everyone's consciousness?
Yes.
And what conscious experiences everyone has?
I am. Yes.
That is the problem with your whole argument. Is your argument?
I know
is,
the appeal to science. I know it hurts.
No, you're putting a moral quality on consciousness.
So now we're talking about morals and not science. Okay.
Moral quality on it. That's not fair.
Stephen / Destiny are trying to say that you get to be this determinant of as to what types of experiences people have to have in consciousness in order to be persons and deserve not the right not to be killed. Because I brought up to you earlier about the situation of children in the womb from a pro-choice and a pro-life biologist who agree that at 12 and a half weeks a child can feel pain. A lot of folks would say that would mean there's consciousness there if the child has the ability to feel pain.
Nobody would say
or
that.
About the child. Well, excuse me, these biologists would.
Then bring them next time. That nobody agrees with
that. Or
the basic response to external stimulus doesn't even require processing in the brain sometimes.
Who are interacting with each other. Okay. A lot of people would say, well, that obviously proves consciousness.
Bacteria
you have this arbitrary
with
definition of consciousness.
No, I don't.
That is really a slippery slope because you already admitted early in the conversation, Lila got you on this
I feel like
point,
some people in this conversation may be lacking consciousness. I understand.
No, I think some people don't actually actively listen and just wait to talk.
Gotcha.
But I would say Lila got you at one
point.
On
total speaking time, or?
At one point, Lila was asking you about the conscious experiences of a toddler versus what was an adolescent or a 20-year-old. And I would even ask you about the newborn. And you then admitted that those conscious experiences are different, and therefore there should be varying degrees of personhood, which I go back to the fundamental principle. That's a bad.
If you're a human, you're a person.
Argument.
If you put intellectual abilities or development as a qualifier for whether or not you are protected from lethal acts, from homicide, you're opening the door to tremendous injustice, and that's what's happened with abortion.
Tremendous.
I have a question for